Ugh. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jack's Nation. I got another shitty video for you. I hope you'll enjoy it. Tonight, I'm gonna make a response video to a bunch of social justice warriors who posted a video a few weeks back called Reasonable Questions for Anti-Social Justice Warriors, or Anti-SJWs. And I figured, well, I just joined the anti-SJWs community, so, why the fuck not? I realize I'm sort of late to the party on this one, but it seemed like fun, so I figured, just gonna do it anyways, and, I could always offer somewhat a new perspective, I guess. So yeah. So lean back, relax, and enjoy as we provide these regressive, whiny little bitches with the answers they so desperately ask for.
Are you able to understand the irony of responding to the perceived political correctness of the left with exasperated reactionary hypersensitivity of your own?
Exasperated reactionary hypersensitivity. Yeah, I think the choice of words there really just says it all. I mean, have you actually no grasp on the concept of a theatrical delivery? Whenever I watch a skeptic video on YouTube, I get the sense that they are actually delivering quite valid points, just in a entertaining way, or in a way that some people would find entertaining. The point of refuting or debunking social justice nonsense is not only to be informative and educational, but also to be entertaining. So when you deliver things in an exasperated way, you sort of appeal to a broader audience. I think that's a simple enough concept to understand.
Rather than telling people you disagree with to drink bleach, wouldn't it be more productive for you to have an actual conversation about the issues you feel matter?
Well, the whole bleach thing, I've only ever heard that in, well, the context of making a joke, really. I don't think it's used to try and derail any kind of meaningful conversation. I really just think it's a joke. And for the record, I would love if people like you would like to have meaningful conversations, but every single time I actually try to discuss issues and substance with people who are on the far left, they just get pissed off and call me a Nazi.
Are you aware that the ridiculous buzzwords you helped to popularize, like SJW and cuck and regressive, have all lost whatever meaning they once had and only serve now as catch-all insults and pejoratives to derail any meaningful conversation?
Brava! I am just beyond myself. This is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the king of fucking projection. How are you able to squeeze that much projection into one sentence? That is, you are making it into an art form, truly. I mean, it's not like your side is guilty of the very thing that you're accusing our side of. It's not like you ever use words like sexist, racist, homophobe, transphobe, bigot to derail any kind of meaningful conversation. Seriously, Pornstash, get fucked.
In videos and in the comment sections, anti-feminists often take up the most extreme or the weakest feminist position they can find, or they just straight up misrepresent what the feminist position is. Instead, why not take up the strongest, most robust feminist argument you can find and really challenge yourself?
Well, I go after rhetoric that I disagree with. I challenge ideas that I find stupid. That's my thing. I don't really care if they are weak or strong. If someone says some bullshit I disagree with, I'm gonna try and debunk them. That's it. That's what I do. If someone is being objectively incorrect, I correct them. That's what I do. If I'm ever objectively incorrect, feel free to correct me. I'm perfectly fine with that. And while we're at it, why don't you present some of these robust and strong feminist positions? I would really love to know what they are. I mean, it can't all be about wage gap and mansplaining, can it?
I am deeply concerned with male addiction rates, suicide rates, and abuse rates, because I have worked with these issues in the quote-unquote real world. Would you be willing as anti-feminists to put aside your differences with feminists for the greater good of addressing these issues, especially as the kind of solutions needed are not necessarily gendered? And if so, I would actually like you to let me know, because I'm not fucking around or presenting any gotchas here. I actually really think that we could get something done if we work together. So yeah.
Well, I first of all wouldn't really call myself an anti-feminist necessarily. I am an anti-social justice warrior. I am a rationalist. That's what I am, and it seems like most feminist positions these days are sort of irrational, which is why I like to go after feminist talking points. To answer your question, though, if I would be willing to set my differences apart with modern-day feminists to actually try and get something done, yeah. Sure, why not? Give me a shout. Basically whenever.
What is third-wave feminism?
No. Nuh-uh. No. No. I'm not gonna answer your fucking question, Steve Shives, and I'm gonna tell you why. I am blocked by you on Twitter, and probably every other social media. I was blocked by you since before I even knew who you fucking were. And you probably have no clue who I am. But I'm still blocked by you, and why am I blocked by you? Have I done something to upset you? Have I threatened you in any way? No. I'm blocked by you because, I probably followed a Twitter page that you don't like. You have effectively deprived me of any opportunity to ask you questions, to test your opinions, to challenge your views. And yet you're sitting there with a semi-smug look on your face expecting me to answer your questions. No. Fuck no, Steve. You are not entitled to my answers until you allow me to ask you questions. Fuck right off, you thin-skinned piece of shit.
Why is it that this feminist represents all feminists, but this men's rights activist doesn't represent all men's rights activists?
Whoa, wait, sexism all of a sudden? Ladies and men are different? So we're supposed to punch men and not hit ladies and open doors for men but not ladies? Fuck you, get out of my face, you tiny piece of shit.
Oh, Trigglypuff. Oh, sorry about that. Trigglypuff, I have never implied in my life that Trigglypuff is a representative of anyone but herself. But she sort of is a meme. She is the embodiment of every single social justice warrior stereotype that exists. Basically, she is noisy, she's entitled, she refuses to listen to other people's opinions, she interrupts people in the middle of making points. She really is social justice culture in one gigantic, bloated body. That's Trigglypuff. I don't think she represents anyone or speaks on the behalf of anyone but herself. And as far as that asshole in the McDonald's goes, no, he doesn't represent anyone else but himself. He doesn't speak on the behalf of anyone else but himself. Sure, there may be some people who disagree with him, or agree with him, excuse me, but really, I don't know, you're making such a stupid point. I have never heard anyone say that Trigglypuff represents all feminists. Like, do I think anyone who would fall under the category of a feminist is represented by Trigglypuff? No. There are feminists I respect a lot, like Christina Hoff Sommers. But I have no respect for people like Trigglypuff or Big Red.
Why am I continually asked to answer for the views of feminists if I agree with feminism's overall aims, but don't agree much with those particular feminists? Does that mean that I can ask you to answer for anybody who labels themselves similarly to you, even if you don't agree much?
If someone actually asks you that, why don't you just go ahead and tell them that I speak on my own behalf? Simple as that. Because I'm assuming you do. I don't think you do actually speak on the behalf of an entire ideology. I mean, it's not like feminism or social justice warriors or whatever. It's not like they share the same views. There are social justice warriors across the entire spectrum. They hold different views. We have different kinds of social justice. It's really shining through. This is not scripted. But I'm doing my best here to actually just formulate my own thoughts. No, I would never assume that you speak on the behalf of an entire ideology, and I would think that you would extend me the same courtesy to just think that I think and speak for myself, because that's really what I'm doing. I'm representing myself. I'm laying forth my opinions, my views. I think you do the same. So no, I don't think it's reasonable for people to ask you to answer for anyone else, and I don't expect you to do that to me.
If SJWs are bad because they spend too much time whining and don't talk about real problems, then why aren't you talking about those problems instead of just whining about the other people over and over and over for literally years? I mean, in the scale of priorities, that's like even lower, right? You know, you've got the real problems, you've got the things that feminists worry about, and then you've got you going, oh, how dare they? Just, how dare they have different priorities from me? Why can't they do what I do? Whine about whining forever for a living. That's healthy.
Actually, I talk about those problems quite frequently. Like whenever someone brings up myths like the wage gap, I say, that's not really an issue because it's not real. If you want to talk about actual women's issues, why don't you look at women's situation in countries like Pakistan or Congo or whichever country where women are actually oppressed? I will call people out on their bullshit. It's what I do. I go after dumb rhetoric. I go after stupid people. And also, aren't you kind of a hypocrite right now? Because you are now the 4th stage on your own list. You are whining about whining about whining. What?
Why don't you seem as concerned with actual feminist theory in academia as you are with wrecking people for views?
Wrecking people for views is sort of a form of entertainment. There is a demand for it, and there are people who are willing to provide it. It's actually that simple. If no one watched wrecking videos, they wouldn't be a thing. And also, when you're talking about academia, would you mind putting forth some examples? Because I'm pretty fucking new to this, and I would love to explore the world of feminist academia. Just give me a shout. Jax Nation.
Since so many of you profess to be admirers of second-wave feminism...
No. We talked about this, Steve. Piss off. Alright guys, that concludes part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll probably have it up by tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, I would be eternally grateful and love you unconditionally if you would leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. Thank you very much. Thank you for visiting the Jax Nation. I'm Jax. See you next time.